Hello, my name is Alex Isles and welcome to Milecastle 39. When Hadrian's Wall was constructed, it was originally designed that the wall would only have mile castles to defend it. And these mile castles were supposed to be small little garrisons with troops inside them so the Romans could project their power either to the north or into the south. But when Emperor Hadrian came up to northern Britain, he decided that wasn't grand enough. And so he decided to add forts into the construction of the wall. But the mile castles were retained, and so every Roman mile there was a mile castle. These would have a small garrison of between 8 and maybe 38 troops inside of them, and they were designed to keep an eye on what was going on locally. They would probably be from a local fort, so slightly further along we have got Housted's Roman fort, and then on the other side we've got Magna, which is where the Roman Army Museum is today. So troops from one of those two would have probably stationed this mile castle. Inside here you would have had a barrack block where the soldiers would have lived, and then a stables where they would have horses so they could quickly send out messages if they ever got in trouble. Right in front of me is the gatehouse, and where the gatehouse is, directly above it, there would have been a tower, and that tower would have given brilliant visibility to most mile castles, so they could see what was going on to the north or to the south and quickly signal to another fort. But here at Milecastle 39, you'll notice that this wasn't really possible, because you've got a hill on either side, or ridges, where the steel rig is. Now where these are, it means that any signals from this mile castle would have been very hard to see, and so the turrets actually from Milecastle 39 provided most of the visibility, and they're up on the ridges on either side. And so because of that, they would be able to signal and provide the local forts with information if this area was ever attacked. The mile castles obviously changed over time. There was different needs over the period of the Roman Empire, and they were changed and adapted. And actually here you can see one of the adaptations. During the 4th century, half of the gateway right here was bricked up, and you can also see that on the other side as well. And when it was bricked up, it was so that there would be a narrower entrance, either for defence or because the garrison size was reduced inside of Milecastle 39. Another feature about Milecastle 39 that I absolutely love, and I'll just show up now to you, is the fact that if we come over here, obviously to the left and to the right of me you can see the remains of the structures. I believe these are post-Roman, as this was taken over and used as accommodation in later periods. But you can see there's a steep drop, and the reason why this mile castle would have been not used for moving troops necessarily is because how are you going to get anyone out of here rapidly? There's a steep drop, the land down there is very marshy, and then you've got a hill coming out the other side. So unlike other mile castles, this probably wasn't used as a custom post, it wasn't used to move troops north or south, but because of the fact that it was one Roman mile away from the other mile castle, it had to be constructed here. And it's a wonderful example of how the Roman military functioned. Because every 1 Roman mile there had to be a mile castle. This was 1 Roman mile from where the last one was, and so you had to build it here. And so even though functionally it doesn't have the same practical use as other mile castles, it doesn't have the same ability to project power as the other mile castles, and it probably would have been a very grim posting with the soldiers having to go up onto the ridges and to sit up there in turrets to actually provide the Roman Empire with information. It still was built here, it still functioned here, and it was still a vital part of Hadrian's Wall because of the fact the soldiers lived here while they went up onto the turrets. And so I just wonder, during the Roman period, was there a sense of, oh gosh, we're being posted to 39, what's this going to be like? Obviously the Romans never would have referred to it as 39, but would it have been seen as a dull posting? Would it have been seen as a, oh gosh, I don't want to be stationed there just in case we get snuck up on? Or would it be seen as a bit of a soft posting, oh, we don't have to pay as much attention as other guys because of the fact that it's a bit of a naff placement or a bad placement on the landscape? So there's so many questions here of what it would have been like to station here during the Roman period. And it's those little unanswered questions, those little stories that we haven't got today, that you can just sort of stand here and go, I wonder what this was like, that really makes me love Milecastle 39. I really hope you've enjoyed this little video and that you'll join me again for another one soon.